as you can see here, you've got a couple dozen, several dozen virtual instruments to choose from. Can't just, it's not just piano, you know. You can also do pads, leads, electronic basses, classic synths, some cool stuff like that. And this brings me to some of the other features. Like, for instance, right here, you've got this button in the middle. If you do that, it just runs like a piano keyboard. Now, if you do that and you hold and slide, it scrolls for you. But if you do that, it actually adjusts the pitch in a fluid motion based on your position on the keyboard. This one's also got a mod wheel and a pitch wheel. You've got attack, release, all those modulation stuff. You fool with that if you feel like it. I like playing with a lot of these classical, like orchestral instruments, doing jazz type stuff. Unfortunately, there's no trumpet or saxophone. Kind of irritates me. But you got a French horn there, and it sounds kind of like a trumpet, so I use it. Now, when it comes to live performance with GarageBand, most of what you've seen right here has been preparation. I'm actually going to do some improvisation here with the French horn, my virtual instrument, and some of these, other instruments. So, let's just jump right into it. I don't have too much time left. Anyway, I'm not even going to bother hitting the record button because, you know what? I don't like people to, to have this available to hear again. If I've played it once, it's never going to be played the same way again. So I like having that little bit of ephemera, that piece of something that nobody's going to be able to recreate. And this brings me to a feature that is personally one of my favorite features in GarageBand, which is the ability to map the keys to scales. Right now I've got it mapped to a harmonic minor. I could also do like a minor blues. Or maybe just a pentatonic. And this means that any of these keys that I hit is going to be the correct key. I'm never off the scale.
8:30, it's time to go.
So there's one last kind of improvisation that you can do with this, and that's what I'll leave you guys with today. It is with the smart instruments. You can also do stuff. Let's say we wanted a guitar in here. Let's say I want to play something like a roots rock kind of thing. Now you see here where it says chords and notes. Now if you switch it to notes, you can do the same thing with the scale like you did on the other thing. We can add a little echo, maybe some treble boost. And it becomes like playing a guitar, like you've got your fretboard right here. I can speak from personal experience as a guitar player, and not having to worry about picking while simultaneously fingering it on the fretboard speeds things up immensely. So I can play these incredible wailing solos. It would have been impossible for me to play on a real guitar. Talking like Jimi Hendrix level stuff, you know. And of course you can end it however you want. But for the sake of tonight's discussion, we're going to end it pretty much just by fading out. Next time, I'm planning on showing you guys some advanced features, inner audio apps, MIDI devices, and the really cool thing, which is jam sessions. You can actually play with multiple iOS devices controlled by multiple people and all playing the same song, synced in time with each other. And one last thing. When you go back to My Songs, this shows you all the songs that you've created. It automatically saves everything that you create, and if you want to delete it, you just hit select, do that, and hit the delete button. Or you can go up to here to share. You can do airdrop, you can share it in messages, but the most important thing is sharing in iTunes, which actually allows you to export it as an audio file or a project file. Now, if it's a project file, you export it to iTunes. You can actually open it up on your Mac in iTunes and read that file with either Logic Pro or GarageBand for Mac. So you can export this to a professional digital audio workstation on your computer, and you can do mastering, clean it up, make it sound great, use higher quality virtual instruments that Logic has. I like to swap out my French horns for trumpets, for actual trumpets, and my bassoons for actual saxophones. And it sounds real good coming out of Logic after it's been mastered. Anyway, obviously that's not for live recording or live performance. But if you're trying to do live performance with this, you can do what you just saw me do. Until next time, it's Andy, and keep playing.